So you're having some trouble selling your house. Maybe your home's for sale listing expired, or you're trying to sell it for sale by owner and you're reevaluating what to do. It can be frustrating when you think you're all ready to go with a sign in the yard and it just isn't attracting buyers. I've got 5 things today for you to consider when selling your home. Hopefully these will help you turn things around and maybe get a buyer for your property. Before I get started, my name is Aubrey Maldonado. I'm with eXp Realty, and I help buyers and sellers in the Colorado Springs area. So to start off, when you're selling your home, the first thing to do is to take a step back and assess the condition of your home and the visual impression that you're giving buyers when they're coming to see your property. Is your home well maintained? Is it visually appealing? Oftentimes we can have rose-colored glasses when it comes to selling our house, or when it comes to, the impression we think our house has, because we're used to what is in our home. We've been living there for a long time. And so it's actually good to get a second set of eyes, maybe grab a friend. And this is also where a real estate agent can help with a professional viewpoint, maybe give you some tips on what to do. Some things you want to make sure you pay attention to are, first, improving the curb appeal. What do people see when they first roll up to your property? Do they see overgrown weeds and bushes that need to be trimmed, or a yard that just maybe needs some help with getting it growing? Or maybe you have a lush, neatly cut lawn with trimmed bushes and landscape, and maybe it just needs a little bit of a boost. Like, I suggest bringing in new mulch, especially before you get pictures and start showings. Maybe just making sure that the weeds are gone and you have new fresh mulch in there to really make the landscaping pop. The last one on the exterior is touching up the trim with a fresh coat of paint. Especially if your trim is white, people can see the contrast when the trim gets roughed up and old over time, starts to chip, so that fresh coat of paint can really make it pop. Now, maybe you have great curb appeal because you take great care of your landscaping and keep your lawn nice and trimmed. So let's next look at the 3 Ds when selling your home, and that's declutter, depersonalize, and deep clean the interior. When it comes to decluttering, I recommend that people take the majority of items off of surfaces that are your kitchen countertops, in your bathrooms, and even in your home office where you might have, the stuff that you're working on. Go ahead and start packing those things away. And that also keeps people from kind of peeking in on what you're working on, or kind of getting curious about who you are, which leads to the next D, which is depersonalize. And that's removing photographs of you and your family or your friends, maybe the old Christmas cards that you have on your refrigerator that kind of just make it look cluttered. Decluttering and depersonalizing can really go hand in hand. And I recommend just start packing. Put these things in boxes and store them maybe in a storage room or in your basement or your garage, where people tend to expect things to be less staged. The next thing is to deep clean, which I recommend hiring a professional cleaner if you can, or if you have a good system for cleaning and you don't mind taking that on, then that's a great thing to tackle. And when buyers are coming in through their home, there's the possibility that they've walked through, model homes that are super clean, or other people's homes that might be newer. Just like the rose-colored glasses when it comes to the appearance of our home, we can get used to the home that we're living in, and even, the dirt that's collecting on the ceiling fan or on our baseboards. And so it's good to have that cleaned off to provide that good first impression. I also recommend having someone professionally clean your carpets or rugs if you have them, to get rid of those stains that maybe you've just kind of forgotten about. Even if there's the chance of the buyer coming in and replacing the carpets, it's still a good idea to professionally clean them, because even without knowing it, it does actually impact the whole impression. The next thing to do when updating the appearance of your home is to take a look at the light fixtures. Depending on the age of your home, you may need to update the light fixtures. So pay attention to what is in, maybe some catalogs recently, or take a walk through a builder's model home. Chances are a buyer might be walking through that home and you're possibly competing against them anyway. And so getting a look at what they have in there might give you some inspiration for what to replace in maybe your kitchen or living room or dining room. Another thing I like to recommend with the visual impression or condition of your home is making sure you take care of any necessary repairs. We all have that continuous to-do list when we own a home. And so I would go ahead and start knocking those things off if you can, or hire a handyman to do them so that you're getting ahead of that home inspection when a buyer does offer and get your home under contract. And this also just helps with the impression the buyer gets when they're looking through the inspection report. You know, no home is perfect, and so a home inspector is going to list a lot of items that you may not even think about. But if you can get ahead of some of the repairs that you already know, and some of the repairs may actually be necessary. So that's another reason to meet with a real estate professional or even a home inspector and see ahead of time what might be necessary for you, even listing your home and having someone purchase it. Now, since you're already maybe making some necessary repairs, a fresh coat of paint on the interior of your home can also add to the first impression of a buyer walking into your property, especially if you're a person who loves bold colors. Not every buyer likes red or yellow or green, and so it's good to choose a color that's a calming neutral color that can look like a blank canvas to a buyer coming in your home. And maybe you're thinking, if a buyer's already going to paint, why even paint the colors that you already have in your wall? Like I said, if you're a person who likes bold colors, I have actually had buyers who have turned away from even viewing a property because there were too many bold colors on the wall and they didn't even want to touch it. Now, I know that can seem a little extreme, but you definitely don't want to be deterring potential buyers from your home. And the last part of the visual impression is staging your home. Especially if your home is going to be vacant when you sell it, it can actually showcase a lot of your home's potential with appealing furniture and decor and help buyers envision themselves living there. Consider hiring a professional stager if needed, and maybe discuss that with your real estate professional to see if they have any ideas or recommendations. Another good reason to stage your home is for safety concerns, to make sure that it looks like someone's actually living there. And some buyers might assume that you are more motivated because you've taken your stuff with you, so they might try to negotiate down the price quite a bit if they see that the home is vacant. All right, so maybe your home passes all of the visual inspection, but what about the smells that are in your home? Bad odors can make a buyer run to the curb. And I've been in homes that you smell wet dog immediately upon entering and you just want to leave. The only buyers who are maybe looking for a home that smells bad are real estate investors who want to try to negotiate down the price quite a bit, and you really don't want to be in that position. Just like with the rose-colored glasses, we can become accustomed to our home and the smells that we live around, and a person who's never been in the home isn't familiar with those smells, and especially for a buyer who is looking to purchase the property, their nose is definitely trained to catch those off smells. Things like diapers and trash, body odor, pets, or cigarette smoke are among some of the many things that can turn buyers off. And don't just think that you can fix the problem with air freshener or candles. This can oftentimes actually cue buyers and their agents to an odor problem. An ozone treatment is something that could be helpful for getting rid of those strong odors in your home. And you can always have an air purifier going after you've even cleaned out those odors to help just maintain a nice atmosphere for buyers. I also suggest having someone watch your pets while you're showing the property. It can help keep down those odors, and it can help logistically with your schedule showing as well. Speaking of your schedule with showing, sellers do have the opportunity to block off times or days that don't work for them, and I do recommend doing this if there are large conflicts or maybe just times of day that you need to block off. However, too many showing restrictions can cause you to lose an opportunity that you might have otherwise gained if a buyer had been able to view your property. Flexibility is key when selling your home, and that especially comes into play with your schedule. Some buyers are traveling miles or maybe from out of state to see a list of homes they want to see in maybe just a few days, and if they get turned away, it may mean the difference between them buying the house. There are many buyers out there who are still not comfortable with the idea of purchasing sight unseen because maybe they've had a bad experience or maybe they're just not comfortable with the idea. Next up is the lovely topic that most buyers and sellers disagree on, and that is price. It can be tempting to push the height of the price range in your market to maybe see what you could sell your home for, or maybe recoup some costs of either building the home or renovations that you've made. But pricing your home too high can deter some buyers from even seeing your property or making an offer. If your home has been sitting on the market for a long time, or maybe it did expire, there's a pretty good chance that the asking price is too high. Research local trends and see maybe some comparable properties in your area to see if your price is right, or better yet, talk to a real estate agent who can give you a comparative market analysis with comparable properties that they are skilled to recognize. If you've already shown your property, pay attention to what the feedback was when buyers and their agents were walking through the home. They usually give that feedback to a listing agent, or if you're selling your home yourself, maybe you can contact them and see if they had any feedback from viewing your home. All right, last but not least is my favorite topic, which is marketing. Marketing plays a crucial role in attracting buyers, and most buyers nowadays are shopping online. Of course, make sure your listing stands out with high quality photographs that are taken with a professional photographer and an enticing listing description that shows off the features of your home. But beyond that, marketing has grown to need a strong social media presence with video. HubSpot conducted a research study in 2023 that showed that 80% of consumers are watching videos online every week, and 50% of those viewers are making decisions on their purchases based on what they've seen. This is why I include video in my marketing strategy when listing a home. Remember, selling a home takes time and patience, and by considering these tips, maybe you can increase your chances of selling your home quickly and getting the right price for it. Thanks so much for coming to my channel and watching this video. I hope you found these suggestions helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more real estate insights and advice. I'll see you soon.